Yea, though I walk through the river of wet and cold, I will fear no wet feet. What's up guys, Below Average Hiker here, and if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know that one of my least favorite things in the whole world is water crossings, especially in the winter time. I hate having wet feet, I hate having cold feet, and it's probably my least favorite part of hiking. Well, today we are here at Ep.6 State Forest to field test something that might be able to help me out with that issue, and that is waterproof socks. I ordered the cheapest pair of waterproof socks that I could find, and today we came out here to Ep.6 to test them out. But we're not going to test them out right now because this river actually has a bridge over it, so I'm not a glutton for punishment, so I'm going to wait until I absolutely have to use them. We're going to check them out and see if they're worth it. If I end up liking them, I'll tell you what the brand is and I'll put a link in the description. If there's no link in the description, spoiler alert, I probably didn't enjoy them too much, but hey, we'll at least get some entertainment value out of my discomfort. So here we are. Hopefully I'm going to show you some awesome views and some really cool stuff along the way. We haven't seen this part of the trail yet here at Ep.6, so I'm really excited to show it to you. Right now it is a sweltering 27 degrees, I believe. It's supposed to get much warmer today, but if there's anything that I've found out, and that is whenever you have warm weather in the winter, everybody and their dog decides they want to go hiking. And that's fine. I encourage you to do that. That's really, really good. That's kind of what this channel's all about. But whenever you're walking around talking to yourself with a camera on a stick, it's really better, for me anyway, if I don't have 1,000 people watching me. So, I don't know, personal preference. We did get a light dusting of snow last night, but it's nothing more than just that. Fine covering, powdery snow. It's still well below freezing at this point in time, so none of it's really started melting. There's not as much mud right now on this trail as there will be later on today whenever it warms up. Another reason why I'm out here so early. It's something else that I've noticed is in most of these little state parks and state forests and secluded areas, there's also always usually a cemetery somewhere right out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not quite sure why that is. Like, this is close to nothing, and as far as I'm aware, there's no historic homesteads nearby. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb and overlooking something obvious. If I am, let me know. But yeah, it's just always confused me, and I've noticed it pretty much the majority of the time that I hike. There's always a little cemetery nearby, so. Firing range. Now these waterproof socks I got, like I said, I picked up the cheapest pair I could find, but they say that they're both waterproof and breathable. I didn't realize that physics worked like that, but apparently it does, or maybe it doesn't, and I'm gonna have a really long walk back to the car. But yeah, no, I'm excited to try them out because if they do work, that's gonna solve a lot of problems for me in this training regimen that I've designed for myself over the next several weeks. Fingers crossed. All right, well, we've reached the point where the red trail and the yellow trail split off. Today we are taking the yellow trail because I know, one, for a fact that it has more water crossings, and two, it has an awesome view both at the beginning and at the end. We're gonna go check that out. Here we go. I love this trail, and this is exactly why. It's one of my favorite views in all of the places that I've been. It's just really, really, really cool, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's getting warmer, which is good. That means everything is starting to melt, which is bad for me anyway. Oh well, because I get to look at that. Makes it okay. I hear running water. I can kind of see running water. So just as I'd suspected, we are coming close to the first water crossing of this trail, and therefore my first field test of the waterproof socks. So my plan is to put the waterproof socks on over the socks that I have on now, put my shoes back on, and cross the river. But what I didn't think about was the fact that my shoes will get wet in that process, and that I will then have to finish the trail wearing the waterproof socks, hoping that they work and that they hold up, and yeah, then I have to figure out how to dry my shoes out eventually. They're pretty good shoes. They're meant to dry fast, but I did not think this all the way through, especially when we're talking testing purposes. If I had already tested them and they worked great, wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, so it's going to be a learning process, and hopefully Amazon didn't do me wrong. We're getting closer. I just spooked up a turkey and it scared the crap out of me. So yeah, turkeys are still around and they can fly. In case anybody didn't know that, wild turkeys can fly. And one just flew right over my head. I wish I'd gotten that on video, but I didn't, so you'll just have to believe me. Well, moment of truth. Here it is, water crossing. And soon to be our first test of the waterproof socks. I can't tell you how excited I am for this and how awesome I think it's gonna go. In case you can't tell, I'm being extremely sarcastic because I didn't doubt my $16 purchase that much until I got right here. So, I'm gonna put them on, I guess, and give it a shot. It's either gonna work or I'm gonna suffer. But it's all for the sake of entertainment and information, right? So that makes it worth it. We'll see. Okay, so I've picked a slightly more shallow area to go across to see if the waterproof socks hold up. Wish me luck. Here we go. There they are. Rolled my pant legs up because they're not waterproof. So put you over here so the sun isn't in your eyes and you can get the full show. All right, here we go. So far, so good. It's cold. It's not. Ooh. Oh, went too far. On the legs. But feet are still doing well. Shoes are completely soaked, but my feet are not wet yet. I mean, my legs got a little wet. Hopefully I didn't have the camera pointed back behind me while I was doing all that. If I did, you didn't miss much. It's fine. The socks weren't quite tall enough to keep the water off of my calves, but turned out pretty good. My shoes are soaked and I can feel the coldness of the water, but I really can't feel the dampness. So, test number one, I think, so far, is a success. Neat. That's exciting. Alright, well, we've got several more miles to go on this trail with a couple more water crossings. Quick update on the waterproof socks. We're now several minutes after the first water crossing, and they're holding up really well. I can tell that there's dampness and coldness in my shoe, but it hasn't gotten through to my skin or even made my socks that I'm wearing under the waterproof socks wet. So far, so good. Just climbed a massive hill, so if anybody ever tries to tell you that hiking is not cardio, they're a liar and a fat mouth, because my heart's pounding. Whew. Yeah, now we get to go up that hill. Another quick update on the waterproof socks. Still have them on, obviously, because my shoes are wet, and still no leakage, still no issues with that. The problem I am seeing, though, is that their claim to be breathable is a little iffy because my feet are hot. Feels like everything's just trapped in there. So I don't know. We'll see how it is when we're done. I know that I have at least one more water crossing to go across, so maybe that'll help cool them off. But so far, I like the fact that they actually are waterproof. Not a big fan of the fact that they really trap the heat with your feet. That rhymed. Getting pretty warm, so I had to stop and take off a layer, and now we're about halfway through, so I know I have another water crossing coming up before too terribly long. Well, we've come to another water crossing, one that is not quite as imposing as the last one, but it's pretty neat little area. So I'm gonna walk across here, give these socks another try out, see what happens. Not too shabby. Definitely cooled my feet off from all that heat that was being trapped in there from the breathable socks. They're holding up really good so far, and that was a nice refresher. Again, you can feel the cold of the water, but you can't feel the water itself. Really good so far. Now I gotta climb this hill. We are currently 3.12 miles in, about 2.5 hours. Wouldn't take nearly as long if I didn't have to mess around with filming myself, but hey, that's what we're here for, right? Cool. All right, we're at another big water crossing, and I'm not nearly as worried about it this time because I know that my waterproof socks will protect me. Yea, though I walk through the river of wet and cold, I will fear no wet feet. Maybe some wet calves, because it is a little deep, but no big deal. Now the big thing I gotta focus on is these rocks are slippery, and while my socks are waterproof, nothing else that I have on is. Oh goodness, all right, that got real deep there. Whoa, jeez. Also, my cheap camera is not waterproof, so I still got that going for me. But my feet are still dry. All right. Calves are a little cold and a little wet, but that's way better than trying to walk through without any waterproof socks. Like, they even legit held up, kept everything out of there. My feet are cold again, but they are not wet. Awesome. 2 thumbs up. I'm holding the camera with the other hand, or else I'd give my second thumb. But 2 thumbs up to the waterproof socks. We'll finish up our review here in a minute. Okay, so I'm home now, and I am ready to give my full opinion on the waterproof socks. If I were going to rate them out of 10, I would have to give them a solid 8. They were totally waterproof. I didn't have any issues with my feet getting wet. I did several water crossings. My shoes got saturated several times. My feet remained dry the whole time. So they did what they said they were going to do in that aspect. So I really have to give them high marks for that. The reason I don't give them a 10 is because of 2 things. They are not that durable, I don't think, because while I was putting them on, I actually ripped one of the seams at the top of the sock. It wasn't really an essential part of the function of the socks because they still functioned just fine, still kept my feet dry. It wasn't a big issue, but just putting them on, the pressure of pulling them on, one of those little seams ripped. So I took off a point there. I also took off a point because these socks are marketed as both waterproof and breathable they are not. My feet did get very, very hot at times, which was fine because then I came to a water crossing and they cooled right off and it wasn't that big of an issue. But still, if you're going to market the socks as breathable, then they actually need to do so. And as I said earlier in the video, I don't know how exactly socks can be both waterproof and breathable at the same time. These definitely are only one of those 2 things. They're completely waterproof, so I'm totally happy with my purchase. They were not very expensive. They are the Randy Sun waterproof socks available on Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description. They run between $16 and $24. A lot of the pairs of waterproof socks that I saw out there were upwards of $40. So these are a really, really value-oriented option for those. So that's what I got to try them out. Today was day 1 of using them. I will be using them again throughout the cold weather season so that I can make sure that I don't have to avoid trails with big water crossings that don't have stuff I can tiptoe across. I will keep you posted as far as if there's ever an update to this review or if I have any more issues with the durability, but as of right now I'm very happy with them. I would suggest getting them if you're a big baby like me and don't like having cold wet feet.
So again, this is Below Average Hiker signing off. I hope you have a great day and happy hiking.